Natalie, hey. It's been about a year now since you and I have last talked. Have you been doing pretty good? So what is it you want with me this time? And just like I had remembered, there is no form of friendliness to you at all. Your cute little sister is finally getting back in touch with you, and you're going to treat me with that cold attitude? That's the reason why your family doesn't love you, and you've turned into a sad and disappointing woman. Right? Are you even aware of that? What do you want with me? Well, about that. I'm going to be having my wedding here really soon. I plan to throw the largest wedding ever, so I would like for you to be there as well. I know that I've always had my own things going on, keeping me from ever going to any of the family events and such. But it would be crazy of everyone not to show up at my wedding, especially when I'm your little sister, right? Huh? I have no reason to be going to your wedding. What? I'm not going. There you go. There's my answer to you. What? Wait just a second. What the heck, Natalie? You can't seriously be that crazy, right? I've always been the cute and nice one in the house. How could you ever say something like that to me? And do you have any idea who I've always been to you, Kay? Someone who didn't get the same treatments and privileges as you. Oh, stop talking about all of that stuff. The reason you were never treated the same as me is because you've always been such a slouch. Mom and Dad feel the same way as I do about you. Huh? There were times you would take my lunches and dinners away from me. And there were times you'd take my things from school, like textbooks and my homework, and throw them in the trash. And at certain times, you'd even take things as far as ripping up my clothes and burning all my underwear. All of that led to me becoming a slouch, a Grinch, even when I was around all of you. And that was all because you have such an ugly personality. You really have the worst personality imaginable. And listen, the only way you are ever going to get any sort of treatment from anyone is by fixing that rotten attitude you always have. That's the only thing you can do because there's nothing else about you that's attractive. I mean, take your face, for example. It's ugly. I'm the one who's already married and making a decent living. So please don't comment about me like that until you're on my same level. What? Someone like you actually had the chance to get married? You really have that much hate for me that you didn't even think I could find a partner to marry? I hate having to listen to you always making comments like that. You're never able to do anything ever, yet you got married. That would shock anyone, not just me. But that's great to hear. I was worried about you for a bit since you're so stupid and all. I'm not going to say anything about that, actually. I was always failing my tests and everything, even though I was trying to study so much. Which led to me stabbing both Mom and Dad's hopes for me in the back. Aw, how wonderful. At least you're aware of how brainless you are. Luckily, after you were finished with, someone like myself came along and aced all her exams, as well as passed all the top classes in her school. No wonder Mom and Dad love me so much more than you. Anyway, since you have yourself a husband, I want for the both of you to come out to my wedding. I'll make sure to send you guys an invitation as well. I have no clue what nerve you have that allows you to invite me to that wedding. I've already told you I'm not going as well. You are a liar, Natalie. Why have you not come out to see me in my wedding? Because of you, there was an open seat left in my family's section, and you've gone and embarrassed me in front of everyone there. You're an ass, a total jerk. You've gone and completely ruined what was supposed to be my perfect day. Give me my day back. Look, Kate, I already told you before that I would not be coming. Twice, actually. You told me you were coming, and that's why I sent you the invitation. It's not like you even have another little sister whose wedding you can go see, so now you're just being an idiot by skipping out on mine like that. I don't think of you as my older sister anymore now and will be cutting ties to you. Well, that's because I've never had a little sister. What? Because I've never thought of you as one to me. I was planning on cutting ties to you long ago, but forgot to block your phone number. There has never been a little sister in my family, and it's going to stay that way now since you are cutting ties to me finally. What the hell? You're a bitch. How dare you say things like that about me?
Natalie, are you doing all right? You looked really upset just a second ago. Then you just left the house to go outside.
I'm sorry, Martin. I'm just a little pissed off at the moment. Something annoying came up again, and so I wanted to take a moment to cool my head outside in the yard. Actually, I'm going to head to the convenience store down the street for a bit. Anything you want from there? I can grab you a drink or a snack if you're a little hungry.
I guess you can grab me an ice cream or something cold. But anyway, what got you all upset like that? I've never seen you have a face as red as that before.
Actually...
Are you kidding me right now? What was she thinking trying to invite you to her wedding? And now she's acting like she's the victim and everything, and that you owe her an apology or something, after all the crap she'd done to you.
I don't know what to say about all of this now. I didn't think things would come to this with her. It's been a long time since I felt this jittery with rage and anxiety at the same time.
I'm surprised you didn't take things further with her then, being that upset. That's very mature of you. How about we have a few drinks today, and then that might help you settle down a bit.
That sounds great. Will you drink as much as me this time?
Of course I will. It's my job as your husband to make sure you don't get too carried away, unless I stay at the same pace as you.
I'll make sure to pick up a couple of drinks while I'm here then. I'll even get us a pint of whiskey to help settle me down more quickly.
Perfect, and thank you. I'll make something up for us to eat along with those drinks then. And, I'm sure by saying something like this, you'll get a little heated with me. But I am thankful for what your little sister has done.
What?
Well, it's because of what your little sister did I was given the chance to meet with you, right? So even though it may be hard to do this, you should be at least a little bit thankful for what she'd done. Well, I was thankful for her at least. However, now, after what she had done this time, I'm not so sure I can say I appreciate her anymore. Also, it doesn't seem like she learned a single thing after all she had done before.
To that girl? No, to that whole family. They know nothing about learning their lessons or anything, so don't even try to hope for anything from them.
I guess that is true. I may have been thankful, but I'm well aware now that your sister won't change. If she keeps on acting like that, then we're going to have to warn her. So please, next time you have to deal with her, let me know and I will help you out.
Thank you, Martin.
Please don't forget that you are no longer on your own in this world. You have me now, right by your side.
It's all because of you that there were empty seats next to Mom and Dad, and you embarrassed me. You really are the worst. Even my husband says you're the worst. He never knew that you had such a self-centered attitude about everything. He also said your character is the worst and that you are ugly. There is nothing about you that's worthwhile to anyone here. But I'm not the devil. So I'll give you a chance to receive my forgiveness by giving me $1,000 right now and nothing less. Huh? What makes you think that I'd have to pay you anything like that? I don't have that kind of money in my bank account, and no, I don't mean that I'm poor. I just mean I don't have any money that can be handed over to a brainless woman like you. I made sure to ask you for only $1,000, and yet you can't pay me that? You can say you're not poor all you want, but I know deep down you really are without any money. Look, Kay. And what about your husband then? I'm sure since he chose to get married to a useless woman who is both ugly on the inside and outside, he has to be just as brain dead as you. But can't he at least give me $1,000? I was originally going to ask you to pay for my whole wedding, but I'm playing nice and only asking for $1,000. So hurry up and give me that money. Kate, what the hell did you just say? Huh? I'm not playing your dang games anymore, Kay. Did you just say what I thought you said? Were you just making fun of my husband as well? What? Making fun of him? I never said that I was making fun of him. Are you really that immature where you get upset when someone tells you the truth? Grow up already, Natalie. I'm younger than you, and even I know not to get all angry about the truth. Not only have you been making fun of me, but now you're making those terrible comments about my husband. I'm not going to allow that anymore. I am an idiot for thinking there was even an ounce of you that had changed. But since it seems you still can't understand anything you're doing and anything I say to you, I'm going to have to get serious here. Jeez, I don't care to listen to you whine about me. Just hurry up and pay me already. Right now. What the hell, Kate? What do you think you're doing? What? What do I think I'm doing about what? While I was out of the house, you were calling the house phone over and over again. And when my husband finally picked up, you started to pressure him for money? What the hell have you said to my husband? Leave him out of all this. I had to do all of that because you weren't sending me any money. That's what you get for bullying me now. Not only have you gone and ruined my very special day for everyone, but now you're trying to avoid paying that settlement I'm asking for. I have no reason to pay you a frickin' penny, Kay. It's frickin' childish of you to still be bullying me all these years later just because I went and stole your fiancé from you. Natalie, you're my older sister, right? You must be pretty messed up in the head if you're not able to laugh off all the funny things your little sister does. Huh? Who the hell would invite the very same person whose fiancé you stole to your wedding with that man? I would. Because I wanted you there to celebrate me as my older sister. Also, I only said things that were true about your husband when I was on the phone with him today. You're the one with an ugly character. And even though you shouldn't even be able to get married, you found yourself a partner and yet still hid things from him about me. You've committed a scam by marrying him without telling him the truth. You're a criminal now. I feel so bad for your husband now that he had to hear the truth from me. I'm sure he's just as much of an idiot as you are, but to be lied to like that and led into a scam marriage, I feel bad for him. Kay, you cut all of that out right now. And you're the one calling me childish after my fiancé was taken by you? I'm sure you have no idea how that must have felt for me back when you did that. All the pain and misery I had to live through. Why are you getting all angry again? Because you keep on pissing me the hell off. I have been so upset with you these past few years now that I don't ever think there will be a time where I'm not hating your existence. I was going out with your husband all throughout college, and we even had planned to get married. You were even invited to our wedding, Kay. But you were able to do what you wanted when you wanted with the help of those two ignorant parents. And in the end, you went and slept with my fiancé and later took him from me. I've been living a life of hell ever since then, although I never care to share any of it with anyone. What? You're all upset because of something like that? Huh? Listen, Natalie, once everyone had found out I'd been sleeping with your fiancé and we had that family meeting, I said what I wanted to. It was mean of you to date someone as cool as him and not let me take him instead. And I knew that I was meant for him, which is what I told you, yet you still said no. That's why I had to steal him from you. And that's why Mom and Dad both said for you to give him to me and go find someone else. In other words, it's your fault for not being good enough for him back then. And not a single person is blaming me for taking him. Yet you went and held on to all your hate all this time and used that to get in the way of my wedding to him. You are nothing more than a monster now. I hope nobody ever calls you human ever again. Ugh. I see, Kay. I see. So in your mind, you haven't done anything wrong all this time? And that's why even now, years after what you did to me then, you still haven't said any form of an apology. I have nothing to apologize about, so why would I? Anyway, pay me that money. If you don't, I'm going to keep raising the amount of money I want from you. I will not let you get away unpunished after what you did to me and my wedding. You will not be able to run from me now. You're the one who won't be left unpunished this time, Kay. You went and made a name for yourself now in my family by making fun of one of my own. What? I haven't made fun of anyone. When have I ever said anything about mom or dad that would be getting you so pissed off now? I've already been mistreated by the three of you and then stabbed in the back when I found someone I loved. There is only one person in my whole life so far who has not treated me like garbage, who is my family, and that's my husband. He is everything to me now, and I don't need anyone else. To me, my family is just him and I. They all aren't family to me, and they never will be. That includes you. To me, you are nothing more than a complete stranger. You are about to get the full wrath of my pent-up anger now that you've gone and hurt my husband like that, you frickin' bitch. Jesus, why would you ever say that? I guess your character has only gotten worse all these years. Do you want to know why I never took you and my ex to court after you guys started having relations? Because I didn't want anything to do with you guys anymore. Also, it was because of you that I was able to find my husband, even if I don't want to accept that. So I thought to myself that as long as I was far away from you and had a life that I could enjoy, I would never have to go back and punish you for what you did to me. But now I can see that there's no point in holding back anymore. Screw being mature about things now. All I want to do is send you and that bastard husband of yours to hell. How dare you talk to me like that when I'm your younger sister? I'm the one who's actually living a decent life and not one filled with things like stupidity and ugliness. You're just jealous of me because you never had a way of giving a wedding, and that's what's led you here. You really think that a CEO and his wife wouldn't be able to hold a wedding after getting married? What? You were able to get my new phone number and everything from the family, but you never asked about where I'm currently living, huh? Right now, my husband and I live in a penthouse. It has windows wrapping around 3/4 of the penthouse, and we can see everything from the city center to the ocean from here. And the biggest seller for this place is the view of the sunset in the evening. That's the kind of life we're getting to live right now, so I wouldn't call us poor or stupid by any means. Huh? Are you completely out of your mind now? You can't be that delusional already, can you? I'll send you some pictures from inside here right now as proof, so please take a close look at all of them. You're lying, right? How can someone like you be able to live in a place like that? Had you never gone and stolen my fiancé from me back then, I would have never had a chance at this kind of lifestyle. I am thankful for that one and only thing, Kay. So thank you. I've been able to find the man of my dreams who I love more than anything else in this world, and have been given a life where I am very well off. Honestly, this is the happiest I've ever been. Your husband, who you just got married to, unfortunately doesn't make the kind of money my husband does. And so you'll never have a shot at a life like mine. What the hell? You are the lowlife. You shouldn't be able to or allowed to have a better life than mine. Natalie! So it really turned out that you have a lot of money, right? That means you can pay for my whole wedding now. It's all because of you that I ended up having a terrible wedding, so you should be fine paying up, right? You already get to live in such a magnificent penthouse out there, so this won't be a problem for you, right? Have you ever looked up the definition of a settlement before? I've already told you I'm not handing any money over to you. Come on. How much longer are you going to do this with me? You are too old now to not be learning your lesson here, so just take responsibility for what you've done and pay up. I'm not sure what all I need to be learning my lesson for and what responsibility I have with you. But I guess I'll hear you out this time since you don't seem to be giving up. Well. So you do know how to behave like an adult. I understand that as an adult, we all have to be responsible for the things we've done and must learn from them so that we never misbehave again. That's why I'm going to make sure you pay up just as much as I'll have to. What? What do you mean by that? Hey, wait a minute, Natalie. What have you done? I just got an envelope in the mail that says I'm being asked to pay a settlement, and it's been sent to me from a legal firm. You happened to be the smart one between the both of us, so you shouldn't need me to explain anything to you as long as you read everything on those documents. That's not what I'm talking about. Why now of all times are you choosing to get this money from me? It doesn't matter what time I chose to ask for a settlement from you. And like I was saying before, I originally wasn't even going to. But then you came back and asked me to come to your wedding, and then got upset with me for not showing up, of course. That all triggered my anger for you again, and so I decided I had no other choice but to do this since you had still not learned a thing. Did you really think you could make it through your whole life without having to take responsibility for having a secret relationship with my fiancé and then stealing him? Are you that much of a dunce? Huh? Don't you dare start calling me the idiot here. You're the one who's pretty much mentally disabled. No point in starting to yell at me again. This is what you get for thinking you were so special and that no one would dare punish you for doing the unthinkable. I'm sure this is all just a fake anyway. What? There's no way someone could actually ask for this kind of money in a settlement, right? This is all a fake, and you're just trying to scam me. Too bad I'm smarter than that. If I were on the same level as you, sure, I would have probably fallen for this, but I'm not. So I'm not being fooled. Is that right? Well, go ahead and keep believing that then. I'd much rather you wait and see what happens when you leave a legal settlement unpaid. Natalie! Why did you send all these papers to my office now as well? And why to my husband's place of work as well? Because of that, some of my coworkers and my boss have found out. It didn't look as though you were going to pay me after I had my lawyer send the papers to your house. So I asked my lawyer to start sending them to your work, as well as to your husband's work. Because of you, my husband is being transferred out of the head office, though. And as for myself, everyone is laughing at me now about how I had to steal my own sister's fiancé in order to get married. And others are talking trash about me in their cubicles. This is the worst outcome. You are practically harassing me now. And all of these things have been done to me before, by you. What? But you weren't as secretive about all of it, were you? Always coming to me at home and making fun of the grades I had in school, calling me stupid for them. And other times telling me you guys didn't need a brainless freak around and hitting me upside the head for it. And at school, you would walk up to my friends and I, telling them how ugly I was and saying I only made things worse by wearing skirts and things like that. Every time you would do any of those things to me, you would laugh about it with the loudest laugh possible while pointing your finger. Then, when things started to get boring for you, you took things to the next level and would ruin my clothes that I had for school. And even take my stationery things and flush them down the school toilets. And that was... That was all because of you being such a stupid loser. I may not have done as well on things like tests and exams, but when it came to my actual GPA, I was better than you. Sorry that I ended up having something called test anxiety, which led to me failing things like my SAT, but I was still able to get into a good college after. It happened to be the same exact college that your husband went to. So if you're going to call me stupid because of it, then he must be just as stupid. All you really had was a decent history in high school, yet you seem to think that's all that mattered. I can't believe someone who graduated from that medical school is being forced to transfer out of his office now. No way. What are we supposed to do here? I won't be able to pay you that settlement I've been asked for. And my salary is going to go down now after what my boss found out, so I won't even be able to live the life I've had. Why, Natalie? Why are you being such a bitch to your little sister? Hey, would you stop acting like such a victim all the time? And like I said before, I cut ties to you long ago, but just kept forgetting to block your number. What? I've never thought of you as my little sister for as long as I can remember. Maybe you shouldn't have been acting so ignorant by thinking I'd still want to be your sister after what you did. I thought that since you and I hadn't talked in years, you would have understood that I don't want you in my life anymore. I even told Mom and Dad that I don't want anything to do with you guys anymore. What? So you're really cutting ties to everyone? Why? Why? Because I can't stand to think about you guys being a part of my life anymore, and I'm at my limits with everyone. I told them both I won't be going to their funerals and that I don't want anything from them after they die. Although everything was probably going to you anyway. Neither Mom nor Dad have ever thought of me as their daughter, so what's the difference between what I'm doing now and what was going on before? This is why I had said my family is only my husband and that I don't have any little sister. You already showed me that you didn't want to be my little sister anymore when you stole my fiancé from me. But after what you tried this time, I'm going to make you and that cheating bastard pay, literally and metaphorically. No way this is happening. I don't want to fall even lower than my mentally challenged sister. I am not going to pay you anything. Natalie, why are you ignoring me now? You haven't been answering any of my phone calls now. I have been calling you again and again and again trying to get you to answer, yet you're still not going to pick up? I'm going to keep trying.
Please excuse me. This is Natalie's husband. Natalie has told me she will no longer talk with you anymore, so I'm having to converse with your kind now. So here I go with what I have to say to you. You have been very rude thus far with all the phone calls you've made.
Oh, you're her husband. And get my sister to listen to me already. Right now, she's trying to get me to pay her money for no good reason at all. You, though, you're just as stupid and useless as she is, aren't you? Since you were willing to marry that ugly heap of garbage. But I know you're making far more money than her right now, right? Well, right now, your wife is becoming far too greedy, all because you probably won't let her use any of your money, and now she's targeting me. Go and put a leash on your bitch right now.
And why do I have to listen to you say things like that about me, when I don't even know you that well? Also, the only dog I know of who currently needs to be put on a leash is you.
Huh? Who the hell do you think you are?
Likewise. I can't believe that I'm thankful for a creature like you. Because of what you've done, I was able to go out with Natalie and then marry her. But I've lost that appreciation for you, quite literally this time, and will not allow you to act out of line anymore. You've already gone and tortured my wife enough. And even though you're being punished for it all now, you're still not able to learn a dang thing.
You are seriously making me piss my pants laughing right now. I never thought that the loser my sister chose to marry would be this sad. Stop thinking that you can be a victim now. And I'm not the one who needs to learn anything from this.
You have no right saying that after you went and stole my wife's fiancé and then invited her years later to the wedding of you both.
The only reason my sister had her fiancé stolen from her is because she is the least sexiest woman on the planet. That's what happens when you're born with the qualities of a monkey. The fact that you can't even see and understand that really makes me accept why you were able to marry such an idiot like her.
I can see now why Natalie has had so much trouble with you. You can't listen to anything that's said to you, instead just changing things so that they make you look more and more good. How is she even able to talk with you in the first place?
Huh? You? Are you making fun of me now? You're the idiot.
My name is Martin Conroy.
And who the hell frickin' cares? You are worth so little to this world that you shouldn't even have a name.
I would have thought you would at least know what the name of your employer is.
What?
Currently, you are working for Conroy Group, right? And yet you have no idea who your CEO is. Going to have an emergency meeting with the board to discuss new forms of training for everyone I've employed.
What? Wait a sec. What are you talking about? You're not some CEO.
I'm pretty sure my wife has already told you about how I'm currently a CEO, correct? And just a second ago, you were going off on your employer, your CEO. You know what has to happen to you now, don't you?
What? Don't even try threatening me now. Show me the evidence right now that you're actually my CEO.
If you'd like some evidence, allow me to tell you your current sales for this quarter. That is something no one else in the company besides myself, the board, and you are able to know right now. I'll make sure to delete the message after I show you your numbers. But once you've seen them, you should trust my words, right?
What? No, there's no way. You're actually my CEO?
Honestly, it doesn't matter to me whether you believe my word or not, because you'll come to realize the truth when you are no longer allowed into the office building anymore. You've really gone and done it now, Kay. You not only tortured my wife for years and years, but now you sit there trying to fight with me, your own CEO. From what I've seen today, you are not fit to be working for my company, as you are a major vulnerability to us. I'll make sure the head of HR is aware of this before I take action. He has to be aware that there is someone so immature within our company that they could lead to our downfall if not taken care of now.
Wait a second. What? Are you really my CEO? I'm so sorry. I never actually thought that you could be my CEO of all people. What the heck? My sister really needs to get herself together. Why didn't she tell me more about my brother-in-law sooner? So sorry for the misunderstanding. As a way of saying I'm sorry, would you allow me to take you out for dinner?
No. I no longer have time to waste talking with you. And I don't have the stomach to tolerate your filth anymore. Just because you didn't know who I was doesn't mean you can just say whatever you want about me. You are way too old now to even be thinking something like that, which has led me to think maybe you are hindered mentally in some way. My company does try to be all-inclusive when it comes to who we hire, but when it's someone who cannot be trusted with the job itself, we have to say no. You're fired.
No way! I already have to worry about a settlement, so there's no way you can actually fire me.
You think that being fired is all that's in store for you?
What?
You're not just being fired, but also you'll be taken to court for trying to defame my company and I. The same thing stands with Natalie, as she is my wife. Consider this the end of your life on this earth. I hope you enjoy paying for all your sins.
No, there's no way. I can't. If I have to pay even more money in settlements, I really will not be able to go on living. Help me, please. You're my older brother, right?
Maybe you have a developmental disorder. I'd say once all of this has been settled, go and have a doctor look at you. I'm sure once they are able to diagnose your problem, it will be a lot more easy for you to excuse all that BS you keep spewing. Now you get the hell out of my life, get the hell out of my wife's life, and go burn in hell or something. She has had enough of your crap finally, and I'm in that same boat too.
No! Oh, please forgive me this time. Please, Martin. Listen to this, Martin. I was finally able to get my settlement from her today.
Is that right? Congratulations, Natalie.
I'm sure glad all of that is pretty much over with now, but man, was this a long battle for me. And I'm really sorry that you ended up having to get involved in everything. This was something I should have dealt with alone.
You never got me involved in anything, since it was both of our problem to begin with. So I took responsibility for part of it, and made sure that monster paid for the things she did to you. Also, Natalie, I understand never wanting to get other people involved in your matters, especially when you love them. But I am your husband, which means you need to come to me with all your problems, and ask me for help if you need it. That's what I want from you, and that's what I expect.
I guess you're right. All right, thank you, Martin.
You are welcome. Now, since all of this has happened now, we don't really have to worry about your family anymore. So what do you say we finally have that wedding?
What?
Ever since you left them all, we haven't done anything at all outside of our secret life together. And since you've cut ties to everyone in your family, who cares if they learn I'm a CEO? Kay already found out, so...
Well, no, I want to have that wedding, actually. It's just, I really don't know how to express that I have no family after I left mine.
Well then let's make a family of our own at the wedding. You don't need to have a mom or a dad or siblings there to have a good wedding, as long as the partner you love is with you.
That's right.
I know. So let's take our time and find the perfect place for this wedding.
After everyone around Kay and her husband started to find out that they got married the way they did, after cheating on me and then leaving me behind, they made a break for it to try and get away. Of course, her husband couldn't escape getting transferred, and Kay couldn't dodge the fact that she'd get fired. They had to move across the US in the transfer and are now both living in a really crappy apartment in LA because they can't really afford any of the housing where the office is located. With Kay being jobless and her husband not making as much anymore, they get into fights on the daily about money and their life choices, to the point they've started to have affairs of their own now. All of this was told to me as secondhand information from one of my old friends who also happens to be a friend of my sister, so who knows if it's all correct or not. But the last thing I was told about their lives over in LA is that they both found out one another had started to cheat, but couldn't get a divorce because without each other, they could not support themselves. Kay needed her husband's money in order to be fed, and her husband needed her in order to have someone home cooking. And they both knew they couldn't rely on their secret partners after a divorce because they were also married, so the choice was made to continue having the affairs and just living with it. But that would all change when one day Kay found out she was pregnant and ended up in the hospital due to her husband trying to kill her. She was in the ICU the last time she was able to text her friend anything, and her friend is not too sure what happened to her after that because she's been quiet ever since. As for myself and Martin, we went and finally gave our wedding to all our closest friends and my husband's family, and from there went and started trying for a baby. It had taken us a few months of trying, and while we were at it, I chose to leave my job in order to focus solely on being home and relaxing after the mess I had been through. And what do you know? It really did help to completely remove most of that stress from my life. As only a few weeks after leaving, I was tested positive. At this point in time, I'm on my 3rd month of being pregnant, but I do have my worries now about becoming a mother. I don't want to end up becoming the same woman my mom was to me, but I'm not sure how to avoid all of that. And there are also the worries about what could happen if I have more kids and they'll treat one another like Kay treated me. But I know deep down that as long as I have my husband with me, myself and the kids we may have will be in good hands. That's what I believe, and so far Martin has given me every reason to believe so. Hello, my sad excuse for an older sister who had her fiancé stolen from her. How have you been doing? I have been blessed with a child, and I am living a lovely life with my husband. But this time it looks like my husband and I are going to be moving back home with Mom and Dad. Could my sad excuse for a sister who no longer has anyone that loves her leave their house, please? Huh? Wait, is that you, Abby? Didn't you run away and never want to talk with me ever again? Wow, what a fun reaction. Are you shocked to finally be getting a text from your sister you haven't seen in years? Good to hear. And it's great that I'm able to chat with you again. You think this is great? Tell me right now where you ran off to and what you've been doing. The last thing I remember of you is you coming into my wedding and running off with my fiancé. What the hell have you been doing? Hey, calm down, Cassandra. That happened 2 years ago. Don't tell me you still hold something like that against me, you stupid woman. I don't think there's anyone who wouldn't hold that against you after 2 years. You made both of our families go into a panic after what you did. My fiancé's parents had to come and beg me for forgiveness at my feet. Is that so? Kyle and I had been wondering what happened after we left you recently. That's the first time I've heard his name in a while. Do you have any idea how many people you guys pissed off after running away from the wedding like that? You think we cared about all of them? We were both young at the time and didn't really care what others thought. I get that Kyle had to run off with me on the day of your guys' wedding, causing quite the stir, but he was always wondering if he really wanted to get married to you or not. Did you notice that about him at all? I don't care what the reasoning was for it, what you both did was completely screwed up and something none of us will ever forget. Don't tell me you understand that, but still want to come back and live with Mom and Dad. Well, come on now. Nothing that bad actually happened to them, so all we have to do is apologize for it and boom, no more angry people, right? After all, we did something that most other couples could never do. And that is figuring out just before making a huge mistake that we love one another and needed to be together. Why would you say it like that? I'm sure you'd never understand what the power of true love can be like. I mean, you may have thought you knew at the time, but that love you felt from Kyle was all fake, right? Kyle and I were meant to be together, and the love we had for one another pulled us both into one another's arms without even having to fear the judgment of all those around us. I'm sure that everyone was very mad before when it all first happened, but we've both been prepared for everyone to be upset about the choices Kyle and I made, and that's why when we come home, we'll show everyone our love for one another and our kids, and everyone will forget why they were angry about us being together. You have kids? You both have kids now? Well, of course we do. We got married, so of course we were going to start making kids. Oh, that's right. Kids that have come from the man you loved and your little sister are like little beings that host all the bad memories you have of us, right? Oh, I'm so sorry about that. But they all exist because the love that Kyle and I have won. So could you stop being upset about the past and stop having resentment towards my kids? What resentment are you talking about? I have no idea what's going on here. I'll be completely honest here by saying I don't care about either one of you anymore. If anything, I'm happy I never ended up having to marry a guy like Kyle. If he's the kind of man that'd be willing to do something as shameful as that, then he's bound to do it again in the future. Acting all tough now, are we? Well, you can see how things have changed. Tell Mom and Dad about this, please. I feel that instead of having me tell them, you doing so would make them understand things a bit more. How about you tell them yourself so that you can see firsthand how upset they still are with you? Why should I have to tell them? You have to, because they're still going to yell at me, right? If I were to try talking to them right now, they'd freak out on me and might even block my number, right? That would be a pain in my ass. You know, I'm the kind of girl that hates things being so painful, so go on and tell them for me. If I were to have a talk with them first, I'd be pouring gasoline right on the fire, right? You can't seriously think I'm going to do anything for you now. If you know that they won't want to talk to you, then give up on trying to come back into our lives. What? Did you really become such an old bitch these past few years? I could have sworn you were a lot more cooperative before. But now you're acting like I need to figure everything out on my own here, when I'm the one who's going to be attacked by everyone. I hope you understand that what you've done was not okay at all. But hold on, Cassandra. You just said something pretty interesting to me. You said you don't care about us anymore, right? Which means you don't want Kyle anymore. I'm not talking about him right now. Well, if you don't care about him and I anymore, then you're not mad at us anymore either, right? Then what's so bad about you having to tell Mom and Dad that we're coming home? It's not like you care about what we're doing. And if you, the victim of everything, doesn't happen to care, then Mom and Dad can't care about me either. That wouldn't be fair. Now you go and tell them you're fine with us coming home, and that should put an end to all this anger, right? Both of you jackasses, neither one of you has changed and never will. Tell me, Abby, why do you guys need to come home all of a sudden now? I remember all those times in the past where you'd say you wanted to leave their house forever, and you finally got that after not saying a word to anyone at my wedding before taking my fiancé and running away, and now you're saying that you've had kids with him? Why do you need to come back to Mom and Dad's house now if you've created a life of your own out there? Because having to take care of kids is tough business. And Kyle's been having to go back to work a lot more often again. The only times he's able to come home and be with the kids is on his days off, which aren't very frequent anymore. At least he gets to be out of the house and doing something besides watching some kids. I have to be here all the time taking care of them and never get any breaks at all. Things in my life have really gotten tough for me, and I don't even have time to see my friends. But wasn't that the life you wanted after stealing my fiancé and having kids with him? Wait, can't he take time off to be home with you and your kids? In order to run away with me at your wedding, he made sure to quit his job at that last company. He only just joined another company 1 year ago and can't be seen asking for any time off just yet. That's why I've ended up acting like a single parent at home. But I'm still very young and want to go out and play more. But you both chose to have kids right after getting married. What did you think would happen after that? You'd just get to leave them at home and go back to playing again? That's why I've been thinking it'd be a good idea to have Mom and Dad look after them for me. Then I wouldn't have to send them to daycare while I go out to play, and that would give me more time and money to go out and do the things I want to. And you think Mom and Dad are going to want to hear such selfish reasoning as that? They've both already had their time as parents raising you and I, and so they're finally enjoying themselves now in all their free time. You think you can say that when you've been living with them this whole time? They don't get to have any free time still because they've been having to take care of their pathetic older daughter who lost her fiancé to her little sister and has been a parasite at home ever since. Huh? Even if that was the truth, you wouldn't feel at least a little bit sorry for what you've done? What? Honestly, I haven't thought about what I've done to you guys at all. After all, it's not my fault you and Kyle didn't communicate more before having that wedding. I just happened to be a better person for him, and he realized that last second. If anything, you should be blaming yourself for not being good enough for him. Are you really saying that right now? If that's what you think, then you really have forgotten your humanity. I don't think there will ever be a day where you and I can be in the same room together with one another. Well, it's not like I was hoping to be around you any. You're just a sore loser whose words fall onto deaf ears. Excuse me? Ever since you've lost your man to me, you've been living the sad life of a shut-in at Mom and Dad's house, right? Don't worry, though, because we're still coming to put an end to that sad life for you. I'm bringing my husband and kids over to live there, and a loser like you can get lost for good. So you're asking me to go tell Mom and Dad that you're coming home, and then you're going to kick me out? What the hell? Don't worry, I'm not asking for you to leave their house right now. Let me see here. I'll give you 1 month to get out of their house for me. And it's not like you want to live in the same house as us, right? Would you like to live with Kyle and I while we make love to one another around you? Shut the hell up, Abby. Also, I think you're a bit confused about things still. I haven't been living with Mom and Dad recently. What? Is that so? If that's true, then things don't have to be this complicated anymore. So does this mean you're living all by yourself now as a lonely old woman? I'm living with my husband overseas at the moment. Huh? You don't have to lie to me, sis. Wow, you almost had me believing you there for a second. But there's no way a lie like that was going to work on me. I know someone as pathetic as you could never have a husband overseas. I don't need you to believe anything I say. By the way, I don't actually have any interest in you, Cassandra. So lying isn't going to do any good for you, okay? Anyhow, I'd like you to tell Mom and Dad about this for me. Please and thank you. Sure.
Cassandra! Long time no see, huh? It's me! Are you doing all right? Have you finally stopped your sobbing and found yourself a better man?
Kyle? Who the hell do you think you are talking to me again?
Come on already. You don't have to be in shock over someone like me. You were just talking with my wife yesterday, right? We've been thinking of moving in with your parents here soon, so I thought that I'd just chat with you for a bit.
Well, screw off then. You never once replied to any of my calls or texts after running off with my sister. Do you have any idea what you've done, Kyle?
Ugh, so annoying. You've always been too serious for me. I found that great back when you and I were dating, but in the end I knew I couldn't marry a stick in the mud.
You know that had nothing to do with me being serious. You just wanted my sister and never had the balls to tell me until our wedding day. Well, at least I was able to get the last laugh having your parents kissing my feet after they had to apologize to me for months.
Oh, I heard about that from Abby yesterday, but like she'd been saying, that's all in the past now, right? You're just wasting time going on about all of that again. Also, you're just as much to blame for that, considering you couldn't make yourself more attractive to me. Sorry to say this now, but your little sister is way sexier than you, and even knows how to please a man in bed.
Is that right? Then why did you even bother proposing to me or anything like that?
At first, I really did want to make you my wife, all right? But look, on the day of our wedding, I realized that the only woman who was meant for me was her. She just looked so beautiful on our wedding day and even gave me a good kiss before I came out to see you. I had my hand around her big ass as we kissed and my other on the soft, peachy skin of her face. I'm sorry, but that's the kind of woman that stops a man's heart. When I came out and saw you on stage, I couldn't even tell where your back ended and your ass began. That's why I thought then was my last chance, and so I took it to be with Abby.
In other words, you're into younger women with more attractive bodies. I'm not going to make any comments about that right now, but you should have figured that out a lot sooner before you proposed and had a wedding with me.
You think so? It's hard being a man when you have to think about all the women you could be with. And for me, it took time before I could narrow down what kind of woman I really wanted.
Does this mean that even now you have your eyes led away from Abby for an even younger and sexier woman? My sister's getting older now, and it's starting to show.
I suppose I have been thinking lately about how her age is beginning to show, and ever since she had kids, those stretch marks are eyesores to me. She's also lost that cute attitude she had before for something more motherly. She's starting to remind me of my mom now, and that's no good. But I've at least been taking time off from work to be home with her to try and keep her relaxed. Wouldn't want Abby getting too stressed and aging faster now, would we?
What? I heard that you didn't take any time off to be home, though.
What? Huh? Wait, no, that was a mistake on my part. I meant I had to use my paid vacation to be home with the kids and help Abby out.
Well, none of that really matters to me anyway. Actually, if you guys are needing help with the kids, why not go live with your parents? Why do you both think you can come back to my parents' house and live there?
That's because I want to keep distance from my family. However, Abby, for some reason, would still like to remain close to your parents. That's why we decided we'd be moving in with them soon.
Why not hire a babysitter instead then? Or could it be that all your time spent out on the town at night is still consuming all your money?
Ugh, look, you're starting with that again? I don't gamble or anything like that anymore.
I see. I don't really care though.
Anywho, I want you to make sure to tell both of your parents that we're coming to live with them now.
I already told Abby that I would. I don't need to hear the exact same words from you as well. Hold on, Cassandra. What's going on here? Have you been trying to fool us or something? Now that I look at my calendar, it's about time things started to play out again. You guys are supposed to be going home to see Mom and Dad and have some sort of a deeply emotional reunion, right? What do you mean, deeply emotional reunion? There isn't even a house here anymore. Yet Mom and Dad were both there and they took all of us with them. What the actual hell is going on here? Explain this to me right now. Hey, calm down now, Miss Crazy Pants. Things are exactly the way you're experiencing them. As for the house, Mom and Dad sold it, and it was turned into rubble before having the land sold. And the both of them are living in a completely different house now. Did they not explain any of this to you already? Nobody has said anything to us yet. Both of Kyle's parents have shown up as well, and they're both chewing him out right now. Cassandra, you need to come here right now. Tell them all that you've already forgiven us and that they have no reason to be mad anymore. I never forgave either one of you, so don't lie to them like that. Cassandra, do something about this, please. They're going to make sure that the both of you pay up for all those costs that had to be paid after you both ran away. Both of his parents ended up paying me in order to pay off the whole wedding, but they're going to want the money paid to them now by their son and you. So as long as you both can do that, I'm sure they'll let you all go. You think either of us have the money to pay them back? We've been having to take care of our kids, so we don't have that kind of money. Well, none of us really care about your guys' situation. If you don't hand that money over right now to his parents, then they're going to put you both to work. But I'm a housewife right now, and I can't be working. That's the whole reason why I don't have any money now and won't be able to make any. I'll just have Kyle pay his parents, all right? I don't care who pays them back as long as they get the money they're owed. You both have to pay them one way or another. That's all. Why are you all like this right now? Why is everyone still so angry at us? Why? Oh, don't ask me why, Abby. You already know the answer to that, and so does Kyle, right? Both of you guys have been the worst of the worst. And ever since that day, you both have just been causing more and more trouble, right? Huh? What are you talking about? Stop trying to change the topic here. I'm not trying to change the topic right now. I'm just done talking with you about the money, and so the next topic is this. You both have been doing terrible things behind one another's backs, so it's time you started to communicate better, all right? Huh? What are you going on about, Cassandra? Stop trying to beat around the bush and tell me what you're on about. What are you both thinking going out with other people behind one another's backs? Huh? What are you... You know what I'm talking about. You know more than me, I'm sure. I kind of wonder, though, you've been wanting to spend time with so much that's made you want to give your kids to Mom and Dad. Huh? Wait, seriously, what is this about? I told you before that I'm just wanting to go see my friends. Your friends? You don't have any more friends after words spread around about you stealing my fiancé and running away with him. Shut up! I've made new friends since then. What the hell? None of that crap has anything to do with you anyway. I guess it doesn't, does it? But I just want to make sure that you both burn in hell after today. What? I've been wanting that for a while now, so I went and did a little bit of snooping into your guys' private lives. And that's when I found some pretty juicy things. Honestly, I have to say thank you for helping put that rope around your neck for me. Seems you've already been wanting to end yourself, so I've been saved plenty of time here. I already knew you both were these kinds of people, but I just didn't expect things to be so developed now. I'm happy to see you picked up the pace, though. Tell me what you've been talking about right now. I am tired of you beating around the bush about it. Tell me right now what you mean. Right now you have another man you're very close with who isn't Kyle, right? What did you think you were doing, leaving your kids with Kyle to go out and see him? Why do you know about that? Well, you made it very clear to me that you wanted to come back home to mom and dad so badly to have them take care of your kids that there had to be a reason for it. You said that reason was so you could have more fun, and that sparked an idea in my head. What if my little sister is trying to be with other men still, and that's why she needs someone else to watch the kids now that Kyle is back at work? So after a little bit of deep snooping, I figured out you have not one but a couple of other men you've been with. I think it's time now, though, that you confess to your husband about all of that. So you really looked into all of that? Yes, I really did. Ever since you and I met at that cafe a few weeks back and chatted for a second, I've been snooping. I thought things were off when you said you wanted to talk for a little bit after running into me there. You framed me! It's not framing when there's proof you've committed the crime. But don't worry, Abby. I told you, right? You both have been doing things behind one another's back with other people. What? So then, Kyle as well? Yes, that's right. I told you if he was willing to leave me for you at our wedding, then he'd be willing to leave you for someone else later on. Come on now. If that's the case, then we're both to blame, him and I. You can't say that one of us is worse than the other for that, right? We both can confess to cheating and move on with our life. I'm sure between you both, cheating on one another is fine, but what about your other partners? What? What does that mean? One of those men you've been with, he's married, right? And after finding that out, I learned the same applies to the other woman Kyle's been with. In Kyle's case, he was using up all his paternity leave he got from work to go out and see her. Did you know that he was using his time off for that? Wait, no way. That's not at all what happened, so I'm not sure how to think about this. Well, there you go. That's all I needed to say to you, so I'll be going now. Good luck to the both of you from here on out. Oh, I forgot to mention this. It turns out that Kyle has been getting in deep with his other girl, and the kid she ended up having turned out to be his. What? They had a kid together? It turns out that Kyle's parents believed he'd already left you and found a new woman he married. They asked him to have a kid with her, and so he did, thinking that you were long gone by now. So both of Kyle's parents think that she's his wife, and that woman's husband has been led to believe that the kid his wife had is his. I'm sure you're all going to have a large conference about all of this with everyone involved in order to figure something out. So good luck. You're lying, right? Wait, I'm not able to understand everything yet. I'm sure you don't want to accept things now, but you will. You really just thought you could get away with hurting me even more while you got to live your life whichever way you wanted to. But this is going to be the end of that life you thought you could have and the beginning of the hell you deserve. I've already made sure to send evidence to both of your secret partners, so enjoy. I'm not sure how things will end up there, but just make sure you pay Kyle's parents back before you get killed. After being taken by both my parents and Kyle's parents, as well as having to learn that both of their secret partners obtained the evidence I sent them, they were forced to not only pay Kyle's parents for the wedding, but also pay massive settlements to both of the people they'd been with. Having both been completely destroyed by what had gone down, Kyle and Abby both wanted a divorce. But they wouldn't be getting it for some time, as they both had to spend at least a few months burning in hell. They both still had to figure out what to do with their two kids, and neither of them really wanted to take them in the end, having only made them on accident after countless times of unprotected sex. In the end, though, it would be Kyle being forced to take them in the divorce, as he had the money to care for them and a better chance. Abby was still without a job, and considering that she made it very obvious to everyone that she was less fit to be a mother than Kyle a father, the judge ruled she could not have them and would be forced to pay Kyle child support. As for the kid that Kyle had with his other woman, whose husband would later learn that it was Kyle's kid and not his own, that husband went and took the kid and told everyone to go screw themselves before going back home to his family. In the very end, Abby was forced to give up the house to Kyle, but she did at least get a few grand from him in the divorce. She was able to get herself an apartment, but would soon find out that it's a lot harder to find a job than an apartment in that town. Hopefully, she can start making money before that pocket change she received runs out, or else there will be a new beggar on the streets in that town, which I'm luckily no longer having to live in.